doing today?
I'm doing okay. What
And
about you? Did you all get everything taken care of?
yes, at least for now.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, nobody's
Hopefully it won't
screwing
be
up,
too much trouble.
right?
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll just go away magically.
I know. But sometimes with cars, that's not always the case.
Right. So it's either nothing or a fuel pump.
Oh no.
Yeah, the kind that's in the gas tank, so that's a lot of labor.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm sorry you're having to deal with that.
Yeah, that's all right. Anyway,
Okay.
just delayed me a little bit.
Yes.
All right. So what do you want to be when you grow up?
I'm still trying to figure that out, but I do want to have this EDD. I do know that.
You want to get this sucker done.
Yes, yes.
Exactly what have you done so far?
So I have interviewed the counselors at the schools. I've transcribed or had them transcribed. I kind of took a shortcut. I used No Notes. Are you familiar with No Notes?
Nope, but I'm gonna be.
Okay. So I had to pay a fee and I uploaded my audio and they transcribed it. But I had to go back because there were certain parts where they said like it was inaudible or like as I was reading through it, I'm like, what did you hear? Because that's not what we said. And so I had to go back through and do some editing. But it saved me a lot of time since I am doing this over the summer and I had 8 interviews. I was like, that's a lot of transcribing. I had to do verbatims for my master's in counseling all the time, and we'd have to transcribe. So I knew that it was going to be a task. So to me, it was worth the cost was worth it. So I've done that. I've read through the through the transcriptions like 2 or 3 times. The first time I just kind of read through it to check to make sure that it reflected what I remember from the conversation and to just kind of like write out like my notes to the side, like reactions or thoughts or questions that came in my mind. And then the next time that I read through them, I looked for kind of some recurring themes. And so I started a little spreadsheet and I can share that with you where first I wrote out like what I thought would emerge from these interviews. And then after reading through them, took lots of notes on like what I did get from it, kind of those themes that kind of kept occurring throughout each conversation. And then from there, I tried to reduce it down to just like like a word or like a keyword or a key concept.
Mhm.
And that's where I'm stuck. And then I don't know if I need to like go back through and make note of the frequency because I didn't necessarily do that.
Right. Well, you'll go back now that you know what your reduced codes are.
Okay.
You can go back and look through and remark it and do counts, but also identify representative quotes.
Okay. Okay.
Anything
So
that really captures
specific.
the essence of the code,
Okay.
and you can do it in their words. It's always more powerful.
Okay.
But you're doing all the right things.
Okay.
So yeah, now you're just going to go back through and look one more time now that you know what it is.
Okay.
Now that you know what you're looking for, these are the things that emerge. But yeah, you can share your document.
Okay. Let's see. Do I remember how to do this? I see share screen down here. So I
And
can just pull up that spreadsheet and just click on share screen. Is that?
yeah, you click on share screen and then it'll give you the choices and you just click on the one that you want to show me.
Okay. All
Or
right.
if you want to be lazy, you can always pick desktop and just show me whatever is on the front of your desk.
Okay. Yeah, because there is another. Well, I was trying to think, was there another spreadsheet that I wanted to show you? I seem to have two pulled up. I'll see what it was once I move this screen out of the way. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Well, just do
Um,
desktop, and that way you can just move between things if you want to.
okay. Let's see. Well, this is. I was trying to remember what my question was about this other one because I did use the areas of work-life survey and Maslach's burnout inventory. And so I have that spreadsheet pulled up, but I'm trying to remember if I had a question for you about it or not. I don't remember.
Probably
Okay.
not, because they're really organized things already.
Yeah.
It's the ones that are all over, like the transcripts. That's the.
Okay. All right. Well,
You can
this,
always ask me later,
yes. Okay. Well, this is the, no. Why? I just pulled up the wrong thing. Okay. I think what you're probably seeing, that's the areas of work life
I'm
survey.
seeing accepted themes, emergent themes, and keywords and key concepts.
Okay, yes. Well, that's what I wanted to show you. Okay. So, yes. So, that first column, that's what I expected to hear from them. And then the emergent ones, that one was much longer. And then that's why I kind of started to identify like the keywords or concepts, just trying to reduce it down to one word. And some of those, I noticed even then with that it repeated a couple of areas, like I think autonomy or relationships maybe occurred twice. Trying to see. And I started another column over there because I was trying to identify like the function of it, because like where it talks about making a difference, that being something that continued to emerge in the conversations. It was in the context of what do they value, and they did, just about every counselor said, when you ask them what brings you the most satisfaction, about your job, what do you value most about your job or your role as a counselor, they all said it was making a difference. And so that's why I have value out there. And then when it talks about like here where I have work-life balance, it was mentioned as something that they value, but also the lack of that balance is also like a factor in them feeling just exhausted by the job. So is it important to note things like that, or is that not really?
That some of the fine details, it's okay, but if you spend too much time on that, then you end up taking forever.
Okay. And I know I don't have
between digging as deep as we can and getting done. And right now, what you have looks good, except if I had the same spreadsheet, then I'd want to like have it across where you would have the one on the left, and what did it map to specific ones in the second column?
So you're asking, did
the importance / value of relationships with students, is that one of the themes that came up, or is there multiple themes related to that in your second column?
Yes, so everything that I expected to hear, I did hear, and I didn't necessarily align those with that second column. But I did hear that, and then I kind of, and then I guess you could say, and then I heard more like, as far as not just the importance of relationships with students, but also with like families. That's also something that came out. And so the middle column is longer for that reason.
Okay,
so you're
well, here's where you're at here. Because, and by the way, this is a great document, and I want you to align the ones on the left with the ones that match them in the middle.
Okay.
Just slide them down so they'll be next to it. So when you show your committee in your defense, you can pull this up and say, here's how it went.
Okay.
Here's what I expected. I did find that, but I found all these others. And so that will enhance this document.
Okay.
So you've got keywords that match all of that already. So nothing needs to change there, except now you're going to group keywords.
Okay.
And come up with the broad categories of emerging things.
Okay.
Oh,
there it is. I was looking for my pen. Sorry.
Because if you come up with 27 things.
Yes. That's what I was thinking. I was like, this list is too long.
So you haven't reduced all the way yet. You've got one more iteration. And that is, what are the themes within these keywords, key concepts?
Okay.
And then reorganize your rows. Once you've got all the rows lined up, you can just sort of move them around so that the ones that naturally group together are together, and you can like color code it and stuff.
Okay.
Well, it's really useful. It makes it clear for you, and it makes it. Do you have a peer debriefer?
You're breaking up just a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Let me try. Do you have a peer debriefer?
Yes, I do. And she has actually looked at some of the transcripts, and our thoughts were pretty much the same on them. So I guess should I be getting more, like, as I continue to move forward, like, should I just kind of, I guess, check in with her periodically?
Yes, and you'll need to check with her on the next level.
Okay.
And then that next level, and so aligning the column or the rows, and then moving the rows to be in their natural groups, then allows you to take, then you can see, and especially if once you have your final theme, you take merge the cells over on the next column, and you say, okay, these 4 were in this theme. Okay, and then so you'll be able to look at your entire process and how it developed into this really big category.
Okay.
And it's really good stuff, and this process is very important, and the fact that you've done it this well, it's really, I would really kind of like your permission to share this video, actually, because it shows a really good job in the middle of this process.
Okay,
and
sure.
Your step is grouping those keywords and just move the work spreadsheet rows around so that it matches and shows how it went from the beginning to the second stage to the keywords and down into a category.
Okay.
And you should come up with a few broad categories that include those things. And you can talk, you can give each one of those keywords a sentence or 2 or a paragraph, whatever it needs. But it's really the major themes that are going to pop out.
Okay.
So one more column ought to do.
Okay. Well, I am definitely feeling a little more confident now that you've looked at it and you're saying that, it looks like I'm on the right track here. And I appreciate you giving me some direction so that I know kind of where to go from here. Because I was really getting nervous. I said, goodness, this middle column is getting really long. And these are a lot of concepts. And I just didn't know how much further I needed to kind of reduce it.
You're going to reduce one more level. And after you do that and your peer debriefer, getting ready for your peer debriefer for that column, I want you to do one more thing to the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Insert a column before expected themes.
Okay. And what's going there?
What's going there? Well, something mapped to your emergent themes, right? Okay. What was? Give me an example of the data. Or actually, maybe you could do it on the right after the broad themes and just say, within these themes, here are some of the exact words of the participants.
Okay.
As long as it's not identifying comments.
Okay.
We want to protect anonymity, but things that are examples so that we, the readers, and anyone judging the quality of your work can say, okay, I see why she labeled it that, and that fits that category.
Okay.
And that shows your peer debriefer, who should be doing the Missouri show me thing and saying, okay, yeah, but what was the data that told you that?
Okay. And so I just I took the approach of, here's a transcript, read through it, let me know what you think. And, I shared my notes with her, and she said that she, that those are like the same impressions that she had. But I see where this could kind of save her some time, and it really streamlines things, and like you said, maps it out well. So I'll do that next.
It maps it out well, and you can include it, a one-page version or something like that, in your appendix, and you can, or you might even put it in the text, but more importantly, you're going to show that to your committee at your defense, and they're going to go, oh, she really did her work here. I see the connections.
Okay. So, and then from this, everything that I'm doing here, it's helping me with establishing, chapter 4. I printed the handbook, the dissertation handbook. I didn't see, is there a page limit or a requirement for chapter 4?
You're going to go long.
Okay.
Because you've got so much to say, don't you?
Okay. So
you're going to meet that. You're not going to just put it into 4 little broad themes and just mention a few things. You're going to tell the story.
Okay.
And that's going to take plenty of space. You're going to meet a minimum requirement. Your chair may tell you to cut it down a little bit.
Okay.
But that's one of those things. I'm checking your process, and your process looks good. Now it just needs to be represented well once you finish that last stage.
Okay. Let's see. I thought I had another question. I don't know. It slipped my mind. I thought of it right as you started answering my last question.
So this is interview data, is that correct?
Yes.
Or what are your other forms of data?
So I have a focus group. We're scheduled to meet actually next week. And questions that kind of popped into my mind and just things I want to clarify. I've been taking note of those, and so those will be some things that we address when we meet next week. And then I have the school counselor, what's it called? It's like SCAQ, school counselor questionnaire. Yeah. And I can show you that.
Well, I trust you on that because it's an organized thing and you're just reporting the result.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do with this spreadsheet when you go to the focus group is you're going to say, here are the themes, the next column, here are the themes that I found.
Okay.
And so that's, here's what I see, and what do you agree with that's the way it is?
Okay.
And that way you're getting member checks to check the quality of this while you're also asking those other questions to pull more out.
Okay.
And then from after the focus group, you can say, okay, did I learn anything new? Do I need to add anything to this?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so, and then, the results of your survey are going to sort of tell part of the story of why things are the way they are.
Right.
So it's all going to fit together, and it's your job to just sort of say, okay, here's what I got. How does that fit? And then you have the entire picture.
Yes. A lot of parts, a lot of steps to this process, but it's
you've done the bulk of the work.
Yes.
I mean, writing is hard, but in qualitative research, the analysis is an immense amount of work, and you've done most of the work.
Yes.
So take a breath and smile.
I'm trying to. So the semester ends, the summer term ends, I think July 23rd or 24th. Right. Do you think it's unrealistic for me to finish by then?
July 23rd, that's really short because you've got a lot of writing to do, and there will probably be some back and forth revisions. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't look likely to me, but that's something that you can discuss with your chair.
Okay.
And because your chair is going to be the final word on everything except for, the quality of the research, and you're right on target with that. Okay. So they're going to be able to tell you how fast they can work with you. I doubt that it's going to happen, but you can always ask.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll check in with her to see, because I knew it was a bit ambitious on my part to try to do this summer, and it really, What slowed me down a lot was just trying to coordinate schedules with the counselors. I didn't expect to get as much pushback from one of the schools as I did, but they ran into technical issues and they were stressing about getting transcripts finalized and report cards mailed out. And so it delayed me like 2 weeks. So
yeah, well, those things happen. So the cool part here, you're moving along. What day is your focus group?
I think we're supposed to meet, check my calendar, Monday of next week. Monday for lunch next week.
Are you working this summer? Or is this it?
No, I am not working. Thank goodness. I've kind of had some downtime. This is the first summer in 13 years that I haven't had to work. So I'm working on a small project, but it's
hallelujah. Okay,
yeah.
so here's the deal. When you talk to your chair, you can tell them that your analysis should be done and you should be writing chapter 4 Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay. Okay.
So block out time, push people away.
The kiddos won't like that, but
what is the date on Wednesday of next week? That is the 11th. You're going to be done with your draft of chapter 4 at the end of the 11th.
You think so?
Yes, because as soon as you're done with the analysis, the writing is telling the story.
Okay.
And explaining the themes through the story. I did this, we looked at this, and I compared this data, and here are the themes, and here's the participant's voice on that to explain. Here's how the other 2 forms of data worked with that, with the focus group, and you're really telling the story how these ideas emerged and why it's important to know.
Okay.
So it's one of those relax, think about the major themes and tell the story of each one.
Okay.
And all 3 forms of data gradually.
Okay.
You sprinkle the participant's voice and you've got chapter 4.
Okay. If I can focus, I believe I can do this.
So, talk to your chair, tell them I said that you should have chapter 4 rough draft by the end of the 11th. And it's a question of, how soon can we move what piece? Because chapter 5 is a cakewalk. Once you have all the information and you just think about what you would like to do in the future and how this connects to the stuff that you've already studied and you know it so well that you're just documenting it.
Yes.
Because you've done so much work that it's now just sort of spilling out and you just organized.
Okay.
So there's no reason you can't have all chapters written by the end of next Friday or a day or 2 later.
Okay.
It's we're pushing closer and closer to the cutoff, and so that's what I would ask.
Okay. Well, I'll reach out to her today, and I'm just going to keep plugging along and trying to make good progress.
Okay, so you've been in a long tunnel.
Yes.
And you've been working in the dark a little bit.
Yes. Now there's light, though. Thank you for shedding light.
Not a train coming at you.
Yes.
Actual daylight.
This is such a process, I'm telling you. But it's also getting adrenaline rush from it too. So
the work that you've done, you're moving the right direction. You got 1 layer of this left, and then move the other pieces of data to fill in the gaps and tell the story.
Yes. All right. Well, I appreciate you so much. It's really helped talking to you today. And I'll email. Do you want me to email the spreadsheet to you in this format now, or do you want me to do it after I've made some of the corrections?
I get it.
What's that?
Yeah, send it to me with 2 more columns.
Okay.
2 more columns. Fill in the major themes and organize it and put the participant's voice on there. What quotes are you going to use to represent that? And that'll build trustworthiness, and it's a good process. So, yeah.
Okay.
To me after 2 more columns.
Okay, I will do that. So, well, I got my work cut out for me.
Yes, but yes, I think there's more work behind you than there is ahead.
Good. I like the sound of that.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you so much. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.